Hi guys, welcome to this issue. My name's Pat Garvey. Slightly out of context, but what we're looking at today and in this issue is the Mozambique rhythm. Okay, now I was playing it in that opening piece, but like I said, out of context. This is such a great rhythm. It's pronounced Mozambique, okay? We're working on what's essentially the New York variant or strain of the rhythm, if you like. I'd urge you to do a bit of background research into this rhythm, where it came from, who's the guys that have really kind of brought it to prominence, if you like, because it will really help you understand the rhythms and where they come from, and how you, more importantly, how you can apply them in, you know, the current day, in the current musical climate. And that's what we're looking at today. If this is new to you, this is a really usable rhythm. I, along with a million other drummers, have got so much use out of this and various ways of applying it in different musical contexts and situations that it's just unbelievable, actually. The first thing you need to do is look at your notation. And the first thing that you'll see is I've notated the rhythm in a 16th note format, leaving out the notes that are not played, okay? Underneath that, I've also written the rhythm in cut time for you, because it's important to understand it in cut time. Moving on from that, because I don't want to get bogged down in all of that, because otherwise I'll just be here for 20 minutes talking and you'll get bored, and that'll be that. I'm going to play the rhythm that you've got as 16th notes there, okay? And I'm going to play it on my second hi-hat over here, because as we progress with it, we're going to develop it and open the whole rhythm up. So here's the rhythm that you've got, okay? Now, what really gives this rhythm some of its flavour are those accents that you can see there. You could think of it like seasoning, if you like. Season it with a few accents. Now, these are typical accents to this rhythm. So I'm going to play the rhythm this time. I'll play it without the accents, and then I'll develop the accents so you can hear the difference that it makes. And then I will put this foot block against it so you can hear how it works against the quarter note. You can hear what the accents start to do for the rhythm. They really kind of give it some real flavour, if you like. And you can hear how they all start to work against the quarter note once we get that going as well. So we're going to keep this in the context of 16th notes. And remember, accented notes, non-accented notes, because they're going to come at us in the next lesson that we do on this, okay? So the first thing we're going to do to develop this is get the rhythm going, get the left foot going against it, and then we're going to start adding bass drums. So I'll add them one at a time. You can see on your notes, we've got a bass drum on beat 1 and beat 3 of the bar, okay? So I'll build the rhythm, left foot into it, and then add the bass drum one by one. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some snare drum, the backbeats into it. So the snare drum's going to go on beat 2 and 4. So I'll build it back up, build the bass drums back up, and then I'll add the snare drum backbeats one by one. So it starts to become quite a nice rhythm. And it's a really nice thing just to sit there and play, actually. What you can do next is you can start developing these things. So I'll give you a couple of examples of just starting to develop the bass drum pattern. You could then go on and develop the snare drum pattern, all kinds of stuff, okay? So I'll build it back up again and then I'll start developing the bass drum. I'll play 2 different bass drum patterns, okay? To just demonstrate how we might build something like this. So you can see, and here, as you start to build it up, it starts to create really nice kind of sounding grooves. And you can use these in any context you like. They don't have to be played in an Afro-Cuban or kind of Latin context at all. You can use them anywhere you can think of. Looking at your notes, the next thing we're going to do with this rhythm is we're going to just put it on the bass drum. Now I say we're just going to put it on the bass drum. This requires some work. You might need to work on your doubles a little bit to get any kind of speed up or real control. Try and stay relaxed. It's quite easy to put all the tension into your legs and feet, and you're kind of leaning back and forwards and all kinds of stuff. So try and just stay relaxed and try and bear that in mind as you build the rhythm up. So here's the same rhythm but on the bass drum. Now you can hear, if you start to add the accents in, you approach this in exactly the same way that you approach the hands. I'm thinking of it in terms of down and up strokes. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, okay? Accented, non-accented. Here it is without any accents. With accents. So the next thing we do, add the left foot to the equation again on the quarter note. So rhythm. Now, because we've now got the rhythm on the bass drum, we're not going to play it with our right hand as well. You can, but I'm suggesting that you put straight eighth notes on your right hand. So play that rhythm again, and then I'll put eighth notes on the hi-hat over here. So you can hear what it does. It gives us a nice kind of real bottomy feel with the rhythm on the bass drum. You heard what I was starting to do with the accents on the hi-hat. You can start trying variations of accents, so quarter note, accent, offbeat eighth note, that kind of thing. The next thing, as you'll see on your notes, is to develop and add the snare drum into it. So we're going to put the snare drum in the same place, okay? Here's how this will sound. One of the next things you could do with this is you could put a double time kind of feel on the snare drum. So we're going to put the snare drum on all the offbeat eighths. If that sounds like gibberish to you, don't worry, but have a look at your notation and I'll play that now. So I'll build it back up exactly as I just did, okay, and then I'll change the snare drum to that kind of uptime feel. So. So you can hear it completely changes the whole feel of the thing. And those are the two grooves that I was playing on the piece of music that introduced this whole kind of lesson. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play that piece of music again, now that we've been through it. Exactly the same kind of pattern. So the rhythm I'm playing along with on the bass drum. It's really important that you practice this stuff slowly, okay? And that if you've got a drum teacher, you speak to them about it. If you are studying on your own or it's just something you're interested in, do a little bit of research. The internet's great for it. And in the leader for this lesson, that's my words in the actual magazine. I've given a quote from a really well-known and great book on these types of rhythms. That's a great place to start. So I'm going to play the track. So, you kind of see how it all works. We're going to pick this up again. This is the first of a three-part kind of session that I'm going to do on this rhythm. The part in the next issue, we're going to put it in a completely different context and really mess around with the rhythm. I hope you've got something out of this. Like I said, do a bit of research into it. Have a listen to some of the guys that really have used this, and there's lots of famous examples, and really get into the whole kind of genre and style of music as well. There's a whole world out there. I hope you got something out of this. I'll see you next time.